Hi, good morning everybody. It's Jennifer and Vicki.
Hi.
We're here at Get Messy NL today and we are here to paint a canvas with all of you. So it's Happy Teacher Appreciation Week. Starts today. Super exciting. We just wanted to say thank you to all of the teaching professionals and everybody, all the school communities for everything that they're doing during these most difficult times. Of course, teachers are always present and upfront and always involved in helping the children any way they can. And so we just really want to say thank you and give back a little bit to our community. So
Absolutely.
Yep. Every year, Joanne and I choose 2 schools that we help out during Teacher Appreciation. Last year, we donated some like Tim Hortons coffee and muffins and donuts and things like that. And this year, we just wanted to go one step further and we wanted to do a paint event with you all. So we decided we'd do a YouTube video. We chose a fun little painting right here. So it's really good for a teacher painting. You can hang it up in your classroom or wherever in your office in your house. Just something to remind you of what you do as your profession and you know how we love coffee and apples are just a given and everybody wants to give their child an apple for for teacher appreciation. So that's what we want to do here today. So we have Vicki and I are both going to paint with you. So we're excited about that. We haven't painted together in a long time. So we're going to do that with you today. And Vicki's going to teach you how to draw the canvas on with pencil. And I'm going to teach you how to cheat. Terrible.
Terrible.
So you guys should all have a kit and a canvas. So your canvas is an 8x10. Vicki's like Vanna White. So everybody will have a kit. And in your kit, you should have a paintbrush. So you might have an angled brush. You might have a brush that's square. Either or is fine. There's no, they're all pretty much the same type of brush or style of brush. And then you'll have little containers of paint. Now we are going to be using some of those colors to mix to make other colors. So you're going to learn about that today, mixing with Vicki. She's going to teach you how to do that. So don't like get all your colors mixed in with your white because your white is going to be used for mixing.
White is
right?
going to be important.
Yeah,
Yes.
white is going to be important. So therefore, we don't want that to be full of paint. So we just got little paper plates. So if you have a little paper plate or some tin foil, that works in a pinch.
Yeah.
A little piece of tin foil just to kind of put your paints out on as like a palette. And that way you'll be able to do some mixing as well. So I'm going to show you how to cheat. Inside your kit, you'll also have a little stencil like this. You'll have to trim it, of course, because it's printed on a full-size piece of paper. So just get some scissors and trim that around. And then I have some tape that I have put on mine, so I'm going to stick it on the inside. So as you can see, there's like a little wooden window frame on the back of the canvas. So we're just going to kind of place it inside and then stick it on. And kind of center it the best you can. Now you won't be able to see it through there, but you'll have to go stand in a window and then just use a marker to trace it. So I'm going to do that portion, and Vicki's going to teach you how to draw it out with pencil. So she'll do it step by step and hold it up to the camera. The beauty of a YouTube video is you can pause it anytime you want. So just press pause and pick it up when you're finished.
Absolutely.
Anything you want to say, Vicki?
Nope. Just let's get started.
I know it does all the talking.
I use
that one because you're... Oh, yeah, never mind.
Yes.
Never mind.
All right. So I'm going to show you how to draw with your pencil. And this is totally optional. You could cheat like Jennifer is, or you can draw it out. I'm going to start with the cup first. And when you do circular motions, I always like to place my wrist somewhere on the canvas where you know. And I'm just going to move my fingers in a circular motion. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start with the top part of the cup. And what you want to do is give yourself kind of this half. Just a little bit like that. So your drawing does not have to be perfect because it's not a drawing, it's a painting. So when we paint, if there's any mistakes that you want to go over and fix, you can do that with paint. So we just need a rough sketch of our image to paint. So after that, I'm going to come down like so and create another arc like this. Then I'm going to come down again and make another arc. And I'm also going to add in where the sippy part is. So as you can see, that's going to be where it sips. Then you're going to come down on an angle on both sides like this, bringing it almost to a point, but not quite. And then we're just going to connect those two lines on a little bit of a curve here. Then I'm going to come in and do the label. See how much faster that is? So now I have my label drawn in here. And I'm just going to shape a cute little heart inside, like so. See? Now we're going to do our apple, because the apple is what's going to place the books. So what I'm going to do is come up with kind of a heart shape.
To the left of your cup.
To the left of the cup, even though it looks like it's to the right on here.
Right.
Right.
Mirror image.
And then I'm going to add in a leaf.
We're learning about that in my grade 5 classroom, you know. We're doing reflections.
Look at that.
In motion
see?
geometry.
In motion. You don't think you need it, but if you're going to be painting an art, it's actually a big thing.
Yeah, I know.
You do actually need. So see here, I put in the little leaf and a little stem like this. So now underneath, I'm going to figure out where I want my book to be. And I'm just going to create a line right across like that. And I'm going to make an angle. This one needs to come up more. And again, that's why we like to do quick sketches. You can paint right over that. Then I'm going to connect. Yes, that's right. I was like, wait a minute. Just like so. And then I'm going to come out and do the second book. And this one angles in the opposite direction. Like so. Connect those two. And then bring it up. Again, just a quick sketch. Doesn't have to be anything perfect. Then I'm going to do my back lines here and here. And we're almost done.
I didn't do the back lines, Vicky.
Whoopsie. See what you get for cheating.
Yeah, I know. That's exactly what I get. See?
Right?
I didn't have them drawn on my picture for my friends either.
So here we have a little, I guess you would call it a label for the book. And just put them in right there. And like I said, just quick. You don't need to do anything too exciting, because as you paint, you can maneuver things and add in extra things and fix lines that you don't like.
I'm just drawing my table because I forgot.
So here we go. Look, see? Identical.
Identical. Same. What do you say in school? Twinsies.
Twinsies.
All right. So what are we going to start with first, Vicky?
So first thing we're going to do is the background. Let's do the background first.
All right.
So we're going to do blue. It's our peacock blue that we put in our little kits. Oh, mine has a
paint slug.
Yes. That happens sometimes.
It's actually really cool looking. Sometimes you get a really big blobby one.
They're very satisfying sometimes.
We call them paint slugs, but they're when too much air gets trapped inside of the paint container. It doesn't harden the paint. It just makes it like a big globby.
Slug.
Yeah, it looks like a
Like
slug.
a slug.
And sometimes they're small and they just like bloop out onto the plate. But sometimes they're really big, and we really like getting big ones.
Yeah. Because we're paint nerds.
Yeah, the kids love it too, actually.
All right, so with your brush, we're going to do the background. Yep, see, just like that. Now, if you want to keep your paint in your container, you can as well. But sometimes it's nice to be able to mix as you need. So this part is going to be fairly light. We're going to use mostly white and just a little bit of blue. So you're going to dip into your white. And then a little dot of blue. Can you see that? It's like a little bit of blue on the top. In our picture, as you can see here, it's not solid in the back. It's just kind of a mix of colors. So you can create your back as whatever you like.
As light or as dark as you like it.
So,
Just make sure you stroke back and forth.
yes.
Don't go up, down, sideways, diagonal.
Yes.
Just keep going back and forth. And a little bit of water to help spread it, right, Vicki?
Yep, but not too much water because we
Right.
don't want it to be runny.
Right.
But just enough.
Just enough. Just kind of showing a little bit of a
Yep.
contrast between the colors.
So if you can see, I'm just randomly taking my brush back and forth, dipping from
Dip,
white
dip,
to
dip,
blue.
dip. And you'll see all the colors. Like it kind of looks like a sky after a while.
Yes,
Like a marbly.
exactly. And if we do the background first, it helps if we do make a mistake in getting any of the background on the actual image, we can cover it up.
Right. Now, when we're painting with children, we always do the background last.
Yes.
Why do we do that, Vicki?
Because with the kiddos,
The little darlings.
those little sweethearts that love to listen to everything that I say, will tend to go outside the lines when they do their center image. So with the kiddos, I do like to do the background last
Right.
because we don't get into this much detail with the
No,
kids.
Exactly.
And they can cover up any mistakes that they made when they go outside the lines.
That's right. See? There's a method to our madness.
I'm just going around. I'll show you again now when I get this little part done.
Vicky's much faster at painting than me. I'm a little bit like she's making hers all wispy and cloudy looking over. And I'm like, blah, blah, blah.
So you can do, and all I'm doing is literally going back and forth with my brush like this in a pattern, and Jennifer is going straight across with her. So either way,
I just can't do the whole like blobby blobby. I have to be like back and forth and back and forth.
but this is a prime example of everybody's different, right? So everybody's is going to be a little bit different.
Exactly.
Whenever I teach,
So don't
our
compare
paint
yourself
nights-
to anybody next
No.
to you if you're working in a
That's
group.
what I was going to say. Every time I do a paint night, I always tell people that it's their work
Yes.
and it should be theirs.
Because sometimes the adults are worse than the kids.
Most of the time. We're all a little critical
We're
of
all our
ourselves.
worst critics, yeah. And you know what? Vicky is actually like an amazing painter. She never gives herself enough credit, ever. She'll always, you know, criticize her work. And when she shows it to me, I'm like, oh, it's like so amazing. And I'm like, Vicky, I don't know why you don't see how amazing you are.
Because see, we're our own worst critic,
Right.
always.
So I'm always building her up. And she
that's
cuts
good.
herself down.
But that's good because we all need that friend, Jennifer.
I know. That's true. That is absolutely true. And see, mine is like, as you can see, I'm doing like strokes back and forth. So I'm trying to put like layers in. And I'm going to go back and put some more white in places because I don't want it to be that blue. So I am going to work on that.
Yep. So yours can be as light or as dark as you want it to be. But don't forget to come around the sides and the top.
Yeah,
as
we know
you're
the word for
painting.
that. Gallery
It's a
wrapping.
gallery wrap.
The kids love it when we say that we're going to gallery wrap our paintings because they're like,
Sounds
"What?"
very
It sounds, yeah, it sounds very fancy. It's like one of them fancy words. Gallery wrapping. It's funny because Vicky uses fancy words all the time. She'll say, like if she's up teaching a class and she'll say, now everybody be aware of your negative space. And I always chuckle in the background because
She does. Always.
I just find it so funny. Like Vicky went to school for all this, so she knows all the like technical painting terms, whereas I'm just kind of like, what do you call that when somebody just likes doing it, like passionate about it, I guess.
Passionate. There you go.
Yeah. So I just like doing it for fun. I don't have any training in it, but I like it and I enjoy it. And my dad's a really good painter and he draws really well, and so I just
He's
kind of
into it.
He is, yeah. So I think I just kind of like picked it up from him over the years. There's another term we use for that. You can go on if I'm just dilly-dallying. I'm a dilly-dallyer. I can't help it. Go ahead.
All right. So if you want to go in with a second coat, you can. I always usually do recommend 2 coats depending on the painting. But if you get good coverage on your first coat and you really like it and you don't want to mess with it, leave it at 1 coat. I'm going to leave mine at 1 coat because I'm kind of happy with how my background looks. But if we were doing, say, a solid color, like if the background was all black or all blue, then we would definitely do 2 coats. because you wouldn't have that coverage.
Right.
So I'm going to go ahead and clean off my brush.
And we don't always clean off our brushes.
Not always,
No, because sometimes we like to carry the color over.
but in this moment I am.
Yes.
And normally I don't. When I'm painting a lot at home, it's rare that I wash my brush.
Oh, she has like a brush layered
Yeah.
with color.
Layered, especially for blending and stuff like that. So for our bottom part, we're going to use the brown cinnamon color.
It's actually my favorite brown.
It is, isn't it? A nice brown.
It is, yeah. It's like chocolate. Dairy milk.
Chocolate.
It loves a bit of chocolate around here.
All right. So we're going to do the same thing with the bottom. Make sure your brush is nice and dried off. And we're going to do the same with the bottom with the brown and the white. So again, I'm going to dip in. Now the reason why I did wash my brush because I'm going from blue to brown.
Right.
So if you're sticking with the same kind of cool or warm colors, often you don't have to do that because a little bit of mix in that color is actually kind of good. But if you're going from opposite colors, you really want to wash your brush out because it's going to be really muddy. So I'm going to do the same thing, white, and then a little bit of brown on the top. And I'm just going to fill in this bottom part.
Like I said, I'm still over here painting the background. It's like, don't be ashamed if you're like me. Just over here, you know.
And don't forget, you can
On to the
pause
blue and
video.
white.
Yeah.
I'm always the one in paint night that says, what did you just say? Vicky's like, Jennifer,
She's my worst student.
you need to listen. But I'm really not good at it. I'm not going to lie.
I like to give her a little slack for it.
Well, really, I'm not very good at sitting down painting for any long period of time.
We know that.
I'm usually up like, okay, who needs paint? Who needs water? Who needs this?
And then I'm saying, Jennifer, sit down.
She obviously forgets who I am
Always.
sometimes.
Well, I managed to get you through 2 paintings so far.
Yeah.
2? Yeah.
I mean, I'm getting there, Vicky. Like, I'm sitting here now and I haven't gotten up yet. Well, only to cheat.
Yet. I'm going to show you guys there now in a sec. I just got to get so far. Because sometimes you can't really stop. Because if the paint starts to dry, you won't get that nice blend.
Lose your flow.
Yep. You can't lose the flow.
Into Vicky losing her flow.
My artistic mojo.
Oh, spraying paint on myself.
That's why I wore my apron today. This is actually a clean one. We're not doing too bad with this.
I know mine's over there hung up. I'm famous for wiping my brush in my apron.
Oh, I do it all the time too.
Yeah, so my apron, I'll have to get it and show you in a minute because it's really not pretty. Well, it's kind of cool.
It is.
But it's a
The
state.
kids love to see it because they're like, oh,
And it was our
let's get
very
messy.
first Get Messy apron that we ever had made.
Yes. Yes.
So it's embroidered. It's like the first Get Messy apron that we ever
Ever.
had. So it was my like very first purchase as Get Messy. And so it's been around a long time now and it's been through thousands of parties probably.
We all wear it.
Yeah, and it's like a communal apron now.
It is.
It's like one that needs to be framed someday.
You have to, yeah.
Now, speaking of that, I gotta go get it and show you now.
Well, she's
So
doing
I had to
that.
get off.
It didn't last long. So as you can see mine at the bottom here, I did go straight across more so on the bottom part.
See?
Oh, it's bad. Look.
Yeah, it is.
It's bad.
But see, it's embroidered. So yeah, you know, it'll be framer someday.
All right.
It's been through a lot, that apron.
Been through a lot. All right, so I'm going to move on.
Yes, dear, you move on.
And I'm not going to wash my brush. This is going to be a part where I'm not going to wash my brush. But I am going to dip into just the cinnamon brown. And we're going to do our first book with this. So I'm just going to trace it out. And this is the part where if your drawing is not the best, you can fix your angles.
I'm almost ready to go on to my brown Vicky.
All right. Well, I always say in my videos and when I do virtual birthday parties that I do like to get ahead of everybody a little
Yes,
bit.
yes.
That way you have something to look at. It's easier.
Yeah, because you imagine if I was teaching this, you'd be like, all waiting on me. Is there someone that's finished already?
There's always one.
We can't
in the
paint
group.
with Joanne because Joanne speeds right ahead. She don't listen to anything Vicky says.
No,
And she speeds.
I've kicked her out. I've kicked her out of my classes.
Yeah, she'll be down eating popcorn waiting for us to finish
Yeah.
because she's done.
Way too early.
She's a fast
She
painter.
is.
I'm too meticulous for that. To be speedy.
I used to be like that, but now it's just more of a let's do it.
See, mine is like very blue. Vicky's is like really like tie-dye blue. Hers looks like.
Almost like a wash.
Yeah, like a wash. That's cool.
And again, this is an example of not everybody's going to be the same.
Correctamundo. All right, I'm moving on to the brown now. Are you proud?
Yep. All right. So as you can see, I filled in my top book. You're going to leave out where the paper is and where this little, what do they call that in the libraries? Remember back when you'd actually have to go and look for a book at the library?
It still has a library, Vicky.
And you'd have to go through the index
Oh
cards.
my gosh, we were just talking about those
And
the other
like-
day at school. I'm doing a research paper in my master's course, and we need to find like references, APA references, peer-reviewed articles. And so I
Yes,
remember
yes.
years ago when I went to MUN that we would have to look through those library drawers. You'd pull out the big drawer, and it'd have all those index cards in
Yes.
it. I can't remember, like library reference cards. I can't remember what those are called.
There was a word on it.
There was,
and
and
I can't remember.
Library catalog or something. I can't think of it either, but I totally remember what she's talking
Yeah.
about. And I was just talking about that with my teacher friends the other day when we were chatting after school about that. And none of us could remember what they were called. But there is a name.
There is a name.
So if
I
anybody
feel
remembers,
like-
let us know
yeah,
at some
let us
point.
know.
But yeah, they were terrible. At least now I can just pop on to the internet and like look up peer-reviewed
easy
articles.
now.
Right? We don't even know how good we got it now. Or I should say, it's the students today.
Yes, they
Don't know how good
absolutely
they have
don't
it.
know. Yeah,
Because those are brutal, those index cards.
and that was only the first step to find your book.
Yeah, the poor librarians, though, the work that they had to do to maintain
Maybe no
those.
wonder they wanted everybody to be quiet.
Yes. So they get their work
so
done.
they can get their work done.
Now everything
Absolutely.
is digital.
So I kind of went in with a little bit of white on the top part of the book, but not the side part of the book, because the side part of the book is going to be a little more shadowed than the top part. I'm just going to make it a little bit darker just for the camera. There we go.
Oh, you're talking about shadowing, yes.
Yes.
That's important.
Shadowing and highlighting is very important. That's what gives you a
Depth.
Depth. Exactly. You listen to me. I love it.
Vicky, I tell you all the time I'm listening. I just don't always show it. Everybody always jokes about that with me, that they have to make sure that I make eye contact with them when they're telling me something, because otherwise I'm thinking about other things.
Yeah.
And so when they say, Jennifer, we had this conversation yesterday, and I'm like,
Did we?
what? You're like, yeah, you were looking, I made sure you were looking at my eyes. You made eye contact. Shocking.
Meanwhile, she's thinking, what am I going to make for supper?
She picks on me, you know. Vicky picks on me.
What are friends for?
That's right. She's just telling me the truth, the brutal truth.
So now I'm just coming with the blue on the bottom book.
She already got onto her book. Well, it's a good day to paint this, Vicky, since it's so gross out.
I know. It's horrible out.
A little bit of a snow day out of it anyway.
The kids are going to love it.
Yes, my kids were delighted. You know, now Shauna was totally
my
excited. She was like putting a spoon under her pillow last night.
Yeah.
And flushing the toilet with ice cubes and all this
They
foolishness.
try that, yeah.
And then she said, Mom, if it's a snow day tomorrow, just leave me in my bed. I'm like, of course I'm going to leave you in your bed. Do you think I'm dare going to wake you up at 6:30 so you can be up running the house all day long? No,
No.
sir.
Well, Logan was prepared for a snow, and I had to keep telling him it still might not be You don't
No,
know.
because it's hard to know, right?
It's hard to know.
They try to predict things the best they can, but it doesn't always work out that way.
We're in Newfoundland.
Truth, and the wind patterns, everything changes so fast.
Everything.
Okay, Vicky, I think I'm happy with my brown part.
All right.
Now I have to watch and see what I'm supposed to do next. The brown book.
Now you're going to do the brown book.
All
Yeah.
right.
And I'm going to show you guys mine now.
And afterwards, you can go, if you paint over your black lines, that if you've cheated like me and drawn them on, then afterwards you can always touch them up. Like, we go back and add in some, like, highlighted details with marker after.
Yeah.
So that's always...
So I did the blue part of my book down here. Now I wanted to make it a little bit wider, so I came down below my line. So this is again where I'm painting. I can fix my angles up a little bit. So then, as you can see, you can kind of see through that blue a little bit. So I'm just going to wait for it to dry and let Jennifer catch up a little bit.
I'm getting there, boss. I'm on the brown book.
When you do 2 coats, this is one of our famous sayings, in between your coats of paint, it's always very important to make sure it's dry. If you don't make sure it's dry before you do a second coat, you're just going to keep picking off the paint from the first coat.
And people don't believe us when we say that.
And then they end up with one big wet spot that won't dry and won't cover. So it's always important to make sure your canvas is dry. And you don't have to speed through this painting. You could take hours to do it. You can do a little bit, come back to it later.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
You put some white on the top of your book, did you?
Yes, just a little bit.
Right.
See, just enough to give it a little bit of highlight.
Cool.
So we're getting there. You can fan it too, like this. Helps. Or
We
if you have a
always
hair
sing-
dryer,
We always say, let it dry.
let it dry.
When Frozen was popular, the kids thought that was funny.
I still sing it, but the kids just stare at me now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
They don't feel it the same way we
No.
did when it was actually cool. I don't know if it was ever really cool, but we thought it was.
maybe when you have girls, but I had boys, so it wasn't really
Wasn't a thing, Vicky.
wasn't a thing. So this time when I come in with the blue, like I said, make sure it's dry first. But I'm going to add in a little bit of white. Just to add in some highlight. And you can use the angle of your brush to kind of spread it around. See? Just like so.
Just like that.
Just like that. Now, let's do the red apple next.
Let's make it pop. I love the color, like the accent colors. It just like makes the whole painting be like boom.
Well, there are a lot of
Like when we use
primary
black,
colors.
but when we
And
use black,
yeah,
and like if something's outlined in black, oh my goodness, it's so nice.
really makes it pop.
And glitter glue.
Our
Oh
favorite.
my gosh, bit of glitter glue on that apple now, Vicky.
Oh my gosh. We're so bad. We use it for everything.
I don't know if anybody knows this about me. I know some of my close teacher friends that are probably watching this knows this about me, but I am very like paranoid with glitter. Loose glitter. I don't know what it is about it, but loose glitter really gives me the heebie-jeebies.
So you can't get it out of anything.
I know,
It's
it sticks everywhere for weeks on
Yeah.
end. And then, you know, when you get it in the corner of your eye and you can just see that flicker when you look certain ways. I don't know. Loose glitter just really, I don't like it. So I always use glitter glue. And so we just put that on everything. Now, sometimes Vicky gets, you know, a bit adventurous in the after school program and the kids haul out the glitter. And I come in and I'm like,
But I only do it here
yeah,
because this is a contained glitter area.
this is a safe
This
space
is
for
a safe
glitter.
space for glitter. And I might be vacuuming it up for an entire week and a half after. But the kids love it.
I know, they do. I should really like it too, but I don't.
Well, it's fine if it's not home. That's the problem.
It's not
When you
fun
have
for
a-
me really anywhere. Unless it's contained in a liquid.
Unless it's contained.
If it's contained in a liquid, I'm all for it. But
Well,
loose
that's why
glitter,
The glitter glue is so good because it just sticks to it.
I know.
We did a Christmas, or well, not a Christmas, a winter painting a couple of years ago. The cabin one.
Oh yeah, that was a nice one.
And Jennifer broke out the glitter glue. And I have never gone back since. I love it. And I use it for
And
whatever
all
I
those
can.
people that were there were like, oh.
It just tops it.
It just, yeah, it was like the icing on the cake. Like it was just.
We added it to the snow, so it made the snow like glisten.
Yes. Yeah, it was really nice. So yeah, if you go to Dollarama, they have it in all kinds of colors. Gold and silver's my favorite.
Silver is my favorite too because it's like a clear but with
Yeah.
silver, so it goes over everything.
Yes.
But I did do a the Paris Love painting with a birthday girl, and the Eiffel Tower we did in black. So
Yeah.
I did the black glitter glue on top of the Eiffel Tower, and it came out so nice.
I bet you the purple magenta glitter glue would be nice on it too.
That
On
one would
black,
be too.
probably be like an accent.
So I have my first coat of my apple done, and as you can see right here, I kind of go along the shape of the apple when you're painting. So I start here, and then kind of bring your brush strokes like this, and that'll help define your apple. So I'm just going to give that a second to dry. Because when we do our second coat, we're going to add in a little bit of white, just enough to give it a highlight. But of course, with pink and or not pink, red and white, you will create a pink, which is not what we want because apples are not pink. So we do have to make sure it's dry before we add in the white at the end. So while I'm waiting for the apple to dry, maybe what I'll do is mix up a little bit of pink on my palette, just the red and the white. And it could be as pink as you want, and I'm going to do the heart on the coffee cup while I have the red out.
I was watching TikTok.
Oh God, she's
I
obsessed.
fall down a rabbit hole with TikTok every now and again. I don't know if any of you have it, but I see all these crazy ideas on TikTok all the time. Now, some of them are like out to lunch, but I watched one this morning because I like to watch the art ones too.
Me too. I love those ones.
They took a canvas and kind of like did a splatter of coffee stain,
Yeah.
and then they used a pen and
There you go. Look. So now I have my pink heart put onto my coffee cup like this. All right. So while we wait for this to dry, I'm going to pause it for a second, and we'll come right back.
Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Our plow guy was there and I had to move my vehicle. Apparently I'm blocking all the snow plowing
the
efforts. Out in the
Because
parking
nobody
lot.
should be out, but we are.
But we are,
Okay. So now that I'm dry, my first coat is dry. So I'm going to come in and do my second coat of red. I'm just going to clean my brush again because we did do the pink. And
Gosh, I
again,
don't even have my pink done yet. Shocking.
that's all right, girl. Take your time. There's no rush. I'm just going to shape out.
Just too busy out battling the elements.
Yeah. It's not very nice out there, that's for sure. So you can see the second coat is much brighter than the first coat.
I got a very delicious apple. What kind do you have?
Ooh, I love Gala.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I seen those at Costco the other day. I never had a Gala apple before.
They're
and I
so
was going to buy them, but I was a little bit hesitant, so I ended up getting Red Delicious. So they're sweet?
Yep.
I never know, because sometimes
I
apples are
know.
bitter. Like, I'm not an apple expert, so I
Me
don't know.
neither. And I'm not a fan of Macintosh. I don't like the Macintosh.
I don't like them either, to be honest.
No.
I don't. They're tiny. They're good for kids.
Yes,
But
they are.
I'm not fussy on them myself.
And my son Logan loves the green apples.
That's the ones Jordan likes.
Yeah, but my cheeks hurt when I eat them because they're so tart.
I'm a Red Delicious fan all the way, but I will try
Red
Gala.
Delicious and Gala is probably a close second to
Okay.
Red Delicious. I have some at home. I can give you one to
Like
try.
I said, I was going to buy them at Costco, but I was nervous that they were going to be bitter, so I didn't buy them.
No, they're not bitter.
All right, cool.
You know what else I use them for? Actually, is salad with balsamic vinegar.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
so yummy in your
I
salad.
like pear on salads.
Pear is good too.
Yeah.
All right.
Not that, I'll be eating a whole lot of salads. I really should try to eat more.
Salads are so good.
They are good. I just don't like making them.
That's the problem.
Too much
for
effort.
making them. Yeah. Well, today is a snowstormy day. It's a good day
To have a big pot of stew, Vicky.
Yes.
No
even
salads
better.
today. I got
No,
leftover
you'll need
lasagna.
salad for tomorrow after you eat the big pot of stew.
That's
today.
right. All week at work, I'll take salad.
Yeah. All right, so I have 2 coats on my apple now, like so. So all I'm going to do is dip my brush into the white like this. And I'm just going to do a quick little, just like that.
Like a comma.
Yeah, just to give it a little oomph. Now you don't want to go over it too many times because you don't want it to turn pink. But you could smooth it out a little bit like that. Then I'm going to wash out my brush.
I'm going to blow on my apple.
Yeah.
So I can do another coat. But when I got into the content or talking to you about the apple was that if somebody wanted to make a Macintosh apple, that you do have green.
Yes.
And you can like put a little green patchy spot to
You
make
could.
it look like Macintosh.
Absolutely.
That's why I was talking about Macintosh apples. A little sidetracked.
So next we're going to use Jennifer's favorite color. Leaf
I don't
green.
like green in general. Like, I don't like green.
Which
but
is
I
why
really don't like leaf green.
every time I use it, I'm like, Jennifer, I'm using the leaf
And I mean, it
green."
looks great, you know, on a canvas. It's just,
Not,
reminds me like a baby poop or vomit.
it does when it's on the palette, as
Oh,
you
yeah.
can see.
It's just very, I guess after having 3 children, I just associate it with,
Yeah, we're done with that
with
color.
like vomit, baby poop. Anyway.
I'm just gonna, same thing, following the shape of the leaf with the green. And I'm leaving some of my brush strokes because that'll give it some depth, like that. The other thing that's green on here are the sides of the book where the label would be. Oh, we're concentrating now.
It's the first time Jennifer's quiet today. She broke the streak. Where else are you putting green at? On that brown book.
Both books.
Oh, both books. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm catching up to you, Vicky.
You are. It's always good to make sure too, if you are leaning on your canvas, not to lean on the wet spot like I just did and smudged the green.
I always turn my canvas upside down and sideways.
Oh yes. You can move
Every
it.
angle.
Actually, I'm usually standing up when I paint. I don't normally sit down very often. So there we go, I just fixed that. So you can see I put the green in on the books, like so. I'm just going to clean out my brush again. And I'm going to go back to the brown to do the stem of the apple.
Oh, that makes it pop, hey?
Yep. So nice.
I just like the finishing touch.
It is, yeah. I like it. All right. So we'll move on to the
there.
coffee cup now.
All right.
All right. So with the coffee cup, it's mostly white with a little hint of the brown in it. So we're going to dip mostly into our white. Get lots of paint on there. And just dip in a little bit with the brown. Oh, none went on there. Just a little bit. And again, I'm just going to follow the shape of the cup.
Mostly white. Do you have the white, Vicky?
Yep.
Mercy.
So as you can see here, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. Now the only thing is now mine's looking very similar to my background. So when I go in to do a second coat, I'm going to use mostly white on the bottom part. And then around the heart, this part of the coffee cup is a little darker.
I mean, you can switch that up if you like.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you want to have the label white, and
The coffee cup dark.
yeah.
There's no right or wrong way.
I'll do the same thing as you with the bottom. It's blended too
It's
much.
blending, yeah. But that's okay. We can fix it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no mistakes in art. Just
Happy little accidents. Good old Bob Ross.
Good old Bob Ross. I used to watch him in the mornings on CBC. I think it was the weekends, maybe on a Saturday morning they'd have him on.
I remember seeing him years ago on TV, but
Oh, I used to love watching him. I'd sit down and eat my breakfast. And
now you can go on and do YouTube videos now
yes.
with him.
Actually, I did have a few friends that did a Bob Ross night.
Yeah.
And they all got together and
Yeah.
put on one of his videos. And
I just find it hard, like, to match up his colors. That's the only
Yeah.
thing I think is the. You'd have to, because I mean, he has a lot of acrylic-based
Yeah.
colors.
And he does old school where you actually mix your colors and you use...
Yeah. But it would be cool to do one.
Yep.
Maybe we can do a Bob Ross paint night
Ooh.
for adults.
That would be fun.
Get a projector, put on a big screen.
Yep. Oh, I'd like to do that.
Told you my brain don't stop.
So, like I said, I'm going to come back in with a little more white at the bottom. And just try to make it look a bit different.
And you can always add a bit darker brown to your
Yes.
background of your table.
I think I might actually go...
Make it like a wood grain.
Yep. The best thing with acrylic paint is you just have to wait for it to dry, and then you can paint over it.
Right.
A lot of my Get Messy paintings are paintings on paintings, because I don't want to waste a canvas.
True.
So I'm just going to wait for that to dry a little bit so I can fix my color, because as you can see, it's very similar. So I'm just going to wait a second. And another trick that you can use too is to put a shadow under the cup.
I was just going to do that, and then I got sidetracked, and then now I'm just painting. Extra paint. But yeah, that's cool too.
Because this will add a definition too.
I was actually thinking if I had black, I would like to do a wood grain table.
Ooh,
That would be nice, hey?
would be.
Which we do. We are using black, so I mean, that's always an option. You can do,
You're not limited.
no,
No.
do a little bit of black grain. Should be super cool.
Yep. We've done a few like that in the background.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm just going to highlight or shadow where the book is going to be too. So when you're thinking of shadow, you always think of your light source. And where is your light source coming from? Is it coming from this way? Is it coming in on an angle? Is it coming from this way? And then all your shadows should go the same way, the same direction.
Your light source.
Yeah, like either the sun or the light coming in a window or a light in the ceiling, whatever your light source is.
Just very fancy, Vicky.
There we go. So I just kind of fixed up my bottom a little bit like that. So we're going to do the same thing. Oh, actually, no, we're going to switch to the gray now in a minute. I just want to make it a little darker here.
You got all kinds of pretty shadows happening over there.
My brain just makes it work, makes it happen.
And I can't get out of the wood grain table over here, so I'm gone astray altogether, so don't listen to me.
We'll see how different everybody's can be. Hold yours up. Look. So they're completely different, but really nice equally. I like yours.
Really nice equally.
All right. So now I'm going to wash out my brush again. And on your plate, we're going to mix a bit of gray. So we're going to take our black. We don't need much. Oh, you already got
I'm
some.
good. I'm
See
going
what
straight.
kind of mess I'm usually in? This is me, not the apron. This is why I get none on my apron. Because it gets all over me. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in the where your mouse would drink from. What would that be called?
The lid. The spout.
Spout? Is that what it is? Where the coffee
Yes.
comes out, the best part.
The spout. I don't know. I'll let mine dry now. Stop fooling with it.
That's the other thing too. You have to, you know,
You have to step back
You
every
do,
now and
you have
again.
to know
It gets
when
a
to
bit
step
wound
back.
up.
I'm just shaping that like so. Nothing to it. So for the lid, we're going to mix a gray. So you want it to be mostly white. And remember with black, black is very hard to come back from. So you just need a little tiny bit of black and mostly white. And I'm going to follow the shape of my cup, just like we did with the apple. You see the top part of my cup. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the side part. And then for this bottom part of the lid, I'm just going to make it a little tiny bit darker. We're getting there. We're really concentrating now. So I just went in with a bit of the gray at the bottom.
I just realised I never did my brown on my label.
Oh, yes.
Whoops. Sidetracked again.
That's okay. It's easy to happen. Now I'm going to do the pages of my book. Can you see this blue book right here? I just put a little bit of that gray. It was actually whatever was left over on my brush. I just brushed along. But then I'm going to come in with some white and spread it a little better. But you want your brush strokes to kind of show in a straight pattern because it'll look more like paper. See? And now I'm going to fill in the book, the brown book. Which actually my apple is kind of levitating on the side, I just realized.
Yes, your
But that's
apple is
okay.
levitating.
It's levitating. I think I'll fix that up a little bit.
Does my mom call me now? Wondering what I'm doing now. She probably draw a by and seeing different colours here.
Yeah, she's like, where's she gone to? What's she doing down to Messy today?
You never know. When I could get messy. I like coming here just to escape.
Yeah.
Just to escape.
It's always good. I'm just trying to fix my book here.
You're not satisfied, are you, that your apple's
No.
levitating?
No, I'm not happy about that at all, but it's getting there. I'm fixing it.
Yeah, I can see that. It's got it done.
Just gotta go little bit by little bit.
Exactly what you were saying. It doesn't matter. You'll just fix it up.
Exactly.
Like I
one
said,
good
when it's
thing about
dry,
paint.
you start highlighting the black that you went over. Like
Yeah,
if you,
exactly.
yours is in pencil, so you really don't have to highlight yours.
No.
But I'm going to highlight mine because it was already highlighted with the black.
Yep.
I mean, you can use just a pencil too when you're tracing. You don't have to use the black. It just depends on what you feel the most comfortable with.
Yeah, exactly. Almost got mine.
What did you do with your book? You did great.
Yep, for the side. Yep.
Side, yeah.
See, that's not so bad now. It's not levitating as much. So because I didn't use the black marker, I am going to go in with a little tiny bit of black. See, a little tiny bit on the edge here. And I'm going to start shadowing some places. You can see down here I just added in a little bit of darker because that side is going to be shadowed more. Let's see, I'm going to fix my lid with a little bit
Do
of
we do anything
dark.
else with our leaf, or are we just leaving the one?
We can. You can even put your Sharpie up and make little veins in it.
So if you're going to highlight with black marker, of course, you have to make sure your painting is dry. So I have some areas that are dry. So I'm just going to demonstrate that. And then if not, and it doesn't matter if it goes, like if you can still see two colors underneath your leaf, for example, because that just adds like definition and
Depth.
design. Even a black gel pen
Yep.
would be nice,
Black
like
gel
when you do
pen will
acrylics or watercolor. Sorry, I have paint all over me.
Yep. I teach that in the art class.
Yes, that's where we were watching it. It's really nice.
When you do watercolor and ink, it's the same thing. You just make sure your watercolor is completely dried, and then you can go in with the gel, black gel afterwards, and add in some definition. So I'm just adding in a couple extra little details here as I go. Filling it in is good too for hiding any little imperfections too. It's all about learning the little tricks.
Tricks of the trade. knows all the tricks.
I can fix anything. Because there's nothing worse than little kids so upset because they thought they'd made a mistake.
I know, it's sad, isn't it? And it happens a lot. We've seen children, you know, have a complete breakdown.
Yeah.
Because they don't think their painting is good enough. And it's so sad.
It is. That's why I always like to teach that everyone is different. Everyone has their own style. And it doesn't have to look like anybody else's because it's not anybody else's. Even mine here is a little more abstract.
Yeah. Vicky has lots of shading and things going on in hers. And I'm just kind of like paint by number.
And either one is perfect. That's my favorite part at the end, is seeing how different everybody's is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that too.
Now here's mine.
I'm going to put that to dry now because one side's still wet.
I know, it's the most impatient part. Just waiting
Yeah,
for
you
it
all
to
know
dry.
how much patience I have with stuff like that. Not very much.
I kind of like mine's a little abstract.
Yeah, it's nice, Vicky. Very pretty.
Oh, yours is so pretty too.
And if you want, you can write on the top in the blue part. You can even put, or even in the cup in the heart, you can put your initials, or you can put Miss Hiscock's room, Miss Parnham's room.
All of mine now officially say "Get Messy" now.
Right.
So I always
Or you
sign
can do
mine.
like welcome in fancy letters at the top.
Ooh, that would be cute on a classroom door. Welcome to so and so's classroom.
Yep. Or you can
Right.
use like a pen and actually name the book.
Ooh, like
Maybe it's-
science.
Yeah, of your
math.
favorite book or
Yeah.
something.
There's
So
so,
you can
many
add
options.
some little details.
You can put little initials in the heart.
Yeah.
You can do lots of things.
Yep.
So many.
Make it your
different
own.
things. Make it your own, exactly.
I always like to add all the extra details. Like I'm never just satisfied.
That's always good, but you don't want to overdo it either.
I know.
So you do have to know when to stop. You have to say, okay,
I'm going to put
that's
welcome
enough.
on mine just
You're
so
gonna
that they
do
can see
welcome?
it.
What am I going to put on mine?
What are you going to put on yours, Vicky?
I don't know. I think it'll just come to me.
That's usually what happens. It just comes to you in a dream.
No, that's what happens to you.
Truth. I tell you all the time I do my best thinking at night.
I'll see her in the morning and she'll say, I have this great idea I dreamt about last night.
So
I'm usually,
true.
that's great, or,
Uh-oh.
okay.
What exactly does this entail for me is what
Yes,
she's
that's the
thinking.
question. What does this job entail of me to do?
So I just put welcome up in the corner. I know it's backwards, but
I think I might just leave mine. Look how nice they are. They're so good.
they're so pretty.
I love yours.
I love yours.
Oh, that's so nice of you.
We're all full of compliments over here at Get Messy. So we just want to say thank you for joining us today. We hope you had so much fun. We had a lot of fun, yeah. It
We
was
always
nice
have
to,
fun.
We do. It's nice to get together and do that with a group of friends and, you know, as safe as you can be. So yeah, keep on being awesome teachers and admin and all the staff that help your school community. Thank you for everything you do. Keep on keeping on. And that's it.
Exactly.
All right.
Thanks for joining us.
Take care.
Bye.